Hey there everyone, Captain Beards here, bringing you another Landgrisser mobile video. Let's get it. Alright guys, before we start going over the characters, I just want to make a mention. The Landius character is the leader for the Yellis Legends. That's why I'm over on Angelina's page, and I popped up the Yellis Legends because Angelina, Shelfino, Listel, and Lanford are all part of the Yellis Legends, which is fantastic because I've been wanting to run my Listel on another team besides the Dark Reincarnation team, and I really love Shelfino and Angelina, so can't wait to run them too. And Landius is actually, I believe, a red. We'll go over him today, but I believe he's a red, so keeping Lanford as a blue is not such a bad choice, but I'm not too sure. I might bring my Lanford over to red. Not too sure, but let's go take a look at the characters now. Alright, so we're starting with Farquaea here. I think I'm saying that right. I might be butchering it. She is going to be the free SR unit that you will be able to grind out in the not Timeless Trials, in the Secret Realm area, which usually it's not too hard to grind them out. I know a lot of you guys are extremely excited that she's free, that we do not have to pull her, which I'm actually pretty excited myself because I think her art is actually really freaking cool and I can't wait to see what she's about. So she is going to be a demon. She's part of the Dark Reincarnation team and the Meteor Strike team. Unfortunately, I did not get Zoraida, so I will not be running her on the Meteor Strike team. Still hurts. But besides that, let's see what she's got. She's part of those Bozel's tribe, you could say, his team. So if you want to read this now, you can. But I'm going to continue here. I'm going to try to be as fast as possible. Do note, I'm on the Landgrisser wiki, and some of this stuff is coming from the translation, which the translation is not so great, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. And don't look too much at these stats here because I don't think stats are always on point, guys. Let's see. Her talent, her unique skill, is Morph. When attacking, hero will be transformed into the same unit type as the enemy hero. If unit transformation occurs on this turn, you are granted one more action and attack is increased by 5%. Lasts 1 turn, 4-turn cooldown. That is freaking awesome. That is awesome. So when she goes to attack somebody, she's going to transform into the same type as that unit. So she's going to become, say she's attacking Leon, she's going to become a blue unit. And when she transforms, she's granted, she can go move again, and her attack is increased by 5%. Oh man, if that's on point, that's hella cool. Okay. Okay, so I forgot to take a look at her path. She is a mage, so she's gonna be a range type. That's what it looks like, I think. Well, she starts as mage, and then she has a demon path and a demon lord path. Pretty sure they're gonna be called something else. So let's go ahead and take a look at her kit here. It's looking like she's a ranged unit. Yeah, she's definitely a ranged unit. Which is weird. No, it makes sense. So she's a ranged unit, she's not a mage. Alright, I think so. I don't know. We'll see in the game. Alright, so she's let's see. So she's got your average troops here. She gets the assassins and the royal dark elves. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that, but let's take a look at her moves here. So where she's gonna go, the demon, we'll take a look at the demon lord and the demon, which unfortunately they're called other things here. I'm pretty sure this right here is gonna be the demon lord, right? And this right here is the demon. Yeah, most likely. So in the demon lord state, she's gonna go ahead and get, let's see, smoke. Before entering the battle actively, there is a 30% chance of triggering after the battle, then, well, probably before battle, and all damage is reduced by 30% for 1 round. Yeah, so I don't know about that. And then attack threats, which of course is wrong. At the end of the action, the attack and intelligence of all enemy forces within 2 squares are reduced by 15% for 1 turn. Sounds like a support. Not sure how I feel about that. Okay, so she gets a magic defense buff. And then this one looks like it's gonna be the demon, I'm guessing, which is roundabout. Causes 1.2 times physical damage. If the attack is not escorted, it will be swapped with the target position after the battle is over, and the senior suffers all damage reduced by 20% for 2 rounds. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is that she's gonna attack somebody and she swaps places with them. Which, if that's the case, that's freaking busted. that's really freaking powerful. So you can do some crazy plays if that's the case. And then she gets your this is not that's not called pacing. The crit rate is increased by 10% after the troops are eliminated in the battle. They can get a chance to move again. Okay, plunder. Ignore the enemy hero by ignoring the escort. I'm pretty sure the escort is the soldiers. Dealing 0.6 times damage. There are special effects for arrow and mage after the battle. Steal up to 3 enhancement effects, so steal 3 buffs from that, if that's what I'm reading. And then heal, so that's a heal, but when she moves, her troops will heal. Okay, so her kit looks pretty cool actually, if I'm getting some of these translations a little bit right. Roundabout seems like her best move, so I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be the path you're going to want to go to. And if you can invest the runes, it looks like she might want some rune investment. I'm not too sure. We're going to take a look more at her in the game, but so far I'm kind of sold, and I cannot wait to grind her out and bring you guys a legitimate character guide. Like I said before on these video guys, I hate doing these kind of videos for you guys because I really like to get a feel for the character. I like to try them out in game, and I like to take them to PvP, PvE, all this other good stuff, so that way I can really tell you guys like, hey, this unit is good, or hey, this unit is okay. But so far her kit is looking a little weird, but I cannot wait to run it. Let's go on to the next character here. Alright, so the next character is Rachel. So Rachel is Landius' little adoptive sister. She is part of the Yelis Legends and the protagonist, and she is a holy. So she seems to be the healer for the Yelis Legends, which is hella cool because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm kind of tired of always relying on Liana and relying on TRs. And I know the good thing about healers, guys, and this is one thing I'm going to tell you guys. The great thing about healers is they don't need to be on a faction. They do not need to be on a faction, guys. If you guys want to run your healer like somebody like Liana on the Dark Reincarnation team to heal up your Dark Reincarnation units, you absolutely can, because they're not really going to attack. They're not really going to get in your opponent's faces. So they don't really need the absolute faction buff or fusion power, whatever you want to call it. So that is something to understand. But it is nice that if I do get Landius, and I do get Rachel here, that I will be able to run them on a team, and they'll have that buff, which is good. Alright, so let's take a look. Obviously in her skill tree, she starts as a nun. Remember guys, most of the stuff is wrong. Then she goes Magic Container, Bishop, Saint, Magic Energy Core, and apparently she becomes a god. Okay. Arcane Vessel. Increased damage dealt by 10% after actively dealing damage. Dispels 1 debuff from an ally within 2 blocks and heals for 150% of Rachel's ints. Wow. That sounds very, very powerful. That sounds extremely powerful. And looking at her talent here, and now I'm thinking maybe she's not a healer. Maybe she's a hybrid healer slash damage dealer. So better version of Shelfino maybe? Okay, increases damage by 10% after actively dealing damage. So she has to hit somebody. Dispels 1 debuff from an ally, which is good. So she's like Liana, within 2 blocks, and heals for 150% of Rachel's ints. 1 second, guys. Let's cut over to Liana real quick. Alright, we're on Liana's page here. After taking action, dispels 1 debuff from friendly units within 2 blocks, not including this unit, and heals for 2 times own int HP. Okay, so I don't know. Rachel sounds a little bit more hefty. We're gonna have to see that in game because I don't trust this at all. I feel like everything here is correct, but I feel like the 150% of Rachel's int, I don't know if that's true because that sounds insane. Moving into the skills here. So obviously God and Magic Energy Core are going to be her top ones. Pretty sure this one's the God one. Yep, it is. And this one's Magic Energy Core. Yep, it is. So those are the two paths you're really going to be choosing here. So the God one, well, let's take a quick look. So she does get damage dealing moves. Yeah, so magic damage dealing moves. So she looks like a damage dealer. I guess she's not a healer. When the unit's health is higher than 90%, the intelligence, magic defense, and combat increase by 10%. Alright, so let's take a look at her God thing here, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be super different. She gets dedication. After the battle, 40% of the probability of restoring the lives of our other units. The amount of recovery is 15% upper limit of units' life. So I'm pretty sure she has a 40% chance to restore life on everybody else, I'm guessing, are her units. And the amount of recovery is up to 15%, or is 15% of her life. Oh, okay. Seems cool. And then there's another support move here, Gospel. Active use, so that the attack and defense of a single unit can be increased by 20% for 2 rounds, and all weakening effects are immunized for 1 round. So obviously attack and defense increase and give immunity. So that sounds really good. I need a unit that can give immunity. And then the Magic Energy Core, which I know is going to be called something else, looks like her damage dealing path, which is going to be magic defense support. At the end of the action, the adjacent one of the friendly magic defense is increased by 20%. So an ally next to you is going to be increased by, their magic defense is going to be increased by 20%. And the immunity, dizziness cannot suffer the strengthening effect, lower mobility, lasts for 1 round. So they can't be stunned and they can't have their mobility lowered. Okay. And magic shock, that I think that's Heaven Sanction. Attacks multiple enemy units, dealing 0.36 times range damage, has special effects on mage and monks, excuse me, and reduces the enemy's magic defense by 30% for 2 rounds. So it looks like Heaven Sanction, so I'm pretty sure it is. So I would say, right, just looking at it from the outside here, it looks like another Rune Hog. She is an SSR, and usually, guys, most of the time the SSRs are Rune Hogs, so be prepared for that. I thought she was going to be a healer, but it looks like she's actually like a replica of Shelfinal, just without the fusion power. So she actually looks more on the lines of being a Lana than a Liana. Now her talent, her unique skill talent, whatever you want to call it, is definitely Liana's. Like that's 100% just like a repeat of Liana's, except she can increase her damage, right? So she does seem to be a attack-based Liana with support, so heavy support on that. So the emphasis, yeah, she does have quite a few support moves, but don't get me wrong, she has pretty good damage dealing moves too, so I take nothing from that. But yeah, I really want to pull her. After looking at her kit now, I actually really want to pull her and can't wait for that. I'm a little bit more excited, if I'm being honest with you guys, for Farquaad than I am for her. If I'm being honest with you guys, just looking at the outside kit here, but we'll see in game what happens. Let's go take a look at her brother now. Alright, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Landius. Now, I was pretty excited for this dude, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys why I'm pretty excited for this guy, because of how he looks. He looks like a freaking badass. He looks like if Die fused with freaking Kirikaze, fused with Leon, and fused with Elwyn. That's what he looks like. He looks like a fusion of all the badass characters, and boom, you got Landius. So I'm actually pretty excited to pull him just for his card art alone. So can't wait for that. Alright, so obviously SSR, he's going to be focused on infantry, and he's going to be part of the Yelis Legends, obviously, because that's his fusion power. He's the fusion power buffer for that, and he's part of the protagonists. So it looks like the protagonists are starting to shape up to be actually getting really good units here, and I don't know, protagonists might seem to get out of the bottom tier in my tier list personally. I know there's probably tier lists floating out there, but I have my own opinions and my own stuff. Alright, so let's go over the tree here. He starts as a knight. He can become a general, grand marshal, a knight, royal knight, and swordsman. So if I'm actually correct, he's gonna start as a red, but grand marshal is green. So he might swap over to green, and royal knight is blue. So he might swap over to green or a blue, which if I'm correct is good and bad. It's good because that means then I can switch my Lanford over to red and he can be the red, and then this guy could be the blue. Or I can swap him over to green, and I'm not too sure. So I'm not too sure about that. Comment down below and let me know, guys, if the Grand Marshal is seriously going to be green and the Royal Knight's going to be blue. If they are going to be different, if Grand Marshal is actually going to be red, I'm actually more excited for that because I don't want another blue unit. My Leon takes care of the blues, and I don't know if I'm feeling the green. I don't mind greens, but I don't know. Alright, so talent, unique skill. After taking action, if there is an ally within 1, 2, 3 blocks, blah blah blah, attack increases by 10% and 5% of attack is added to defense and magic defense. Lasts 1 turn. When hit by a ranged attack, reduces damage taken by 10% and launches a counter attack within 2 blocks. Alright, so after he moves, if there's an ally close to him, their attack increases by 10%. No, his attack is increased by 10%, and 5% of attack is added to defense and magic defense. So pretty much he procs a nice little defense buff to get him ready to be attacked. Last 1 turn. So that's what that means. So if he moves, pretty much you're going to want to move him next to an ally. He's going to proc this. He's going to buff himself up. His attack and defense is going to be buffed up. And when he's hit by a ranged attack, if the ranged attack is he's going to reduce the damage of a ranged attack, which is awesome. And this is automatically, so this he doesn't have to practice and stuff because there's a period there. So when hit by a ranged attack, reduces damage taken by 10%. That's going to start at the 3-star mark by 10% and launches a counter attack within 2 blocks. Okay, can I like get the start up here? Okay, that makes no difference. Alright, so that's pretty cool. He has a counter, which is really freaking cool. Who else has a counter? Oh, Listel. Listel is the only other one that has a counter. So pretty much on the Yellis Legends, if you have Listel and him, you're gonna have 2 counter units. That's freaking dope. Alright, so let's go over the kit here. So this is obviously the Royal Knight. Now, the Royal Knight looks like it's going to be the one that carries the fusion power. Yes, it is. Attack and defense increase significantly for all Yellis Legends allies within range, and damage increases by 15%. When not battling units over which you have a class advantage, lasts 4 turns. Okay, so he's going to increase damage. He's going to be the opposite of Bernhardt. Bernhardt does this, but it's a 20% increase, and you have to have class priority. Right now he's the opposite, which he doesn't care if you have class priority. He's just going to give you, as long as you have class disadvantage, you're going to have 15% increase. Am I reading that right? Within range, and damage increases by 15% when battling units over which you have a class advantage. No, so you have to have advantage. So his fusion power is the exact fusion power of Bernhardt, except for the Yellis Legends. 15% damage increases by 50% when not battling units over which you have. Okay, so it is the opposite of Bernhardt. Man, it took me a while to get that. Alright, so that actually is really freaking cool because I'm actually sick of running colors that needs to counter other colors. Like, let me just run a unit that I want to run because they're badass and I just want to use them. So that's really freaking cool. And then he's going to get Stop Water, which obviously that's not it. Bear all attacks against neighboring friendly forces. All the friendly units within 2 squares of the command suffered a 30% reduction in critical strike rate and a 15% reduction in range damage. Okay, so that's going to be blocked pretty much. He's going to jump in front of attacks. The range of guard has been increased by 2, and command range has been increased to 3 grids the last 2 rounds. So that's your typical block move. where he's going to jump in front of shots and it's to increase attack and defense and all that other good stuff. So the Royal Knight seems to be the path that he's going to take to make him a blue tank. That's what it's looking like, 100%. And then let's see the Grand Marshal, which is really weird because blues are usually not the tanks, it's usually the greens. Alright, so unless that Royal Knight's going to be red, then like I said, comment down below and let me know. Okay, Grand Marshal here. Iron Helmet, pretty sure it's going to be called something else. When triggered by a 25% probability of ranged attack, the unit is reduced by 50% of all damage. So pretty much there's a 25% chance that he's going to reduce range damage by 50%, which the chance is really low, but the 50% reduced damage, that's actually really freaking good. Unyielding, resist a fatal damage and the health returns 20%. Each battle is triggered at most once. So when he's about to battle, if he's about to be killed by a shot, he resists the damage and he restores 20%. He resists the fatal damage and he restores 20% of HP. And it looks like this can only be triggered once, one battle. So I'm not sure if it's like one whole mission or if it's like one battle against that person. I'm not too sure. But that looks really good. That looks hella good. That looks a little bit too good. So we'll see. Alright, Fu Yang attacks a single enemy dealing 1.5 times damage. After battle, restores 30% of damage's value. Alright, so that's like Elwyn's move there. Sun Slash, I believe that's what it's called. And then counter attack, it's a passive. Physical attack for neighboring friendly forces. When attacked into battle, the attack increased by 12%. Okay, and then your typical other moves here. So he's actually looking really freaking cool. And I just want to know if Grand Marshal or Royal Knight is actually red. Because if one of those two is red, then I'm actually going to be way more excited for this guy than previously. But if that's blue and that's green, I'm going to still be very excited to pull him. And honestly, I'm looking forward to him the most out of everybody else. Farah is close though. She's really close because these two look very confusing. But of course, that's the translation. The translation is a little bit off. Other than that, guys, do I think you guys should pull for Landius Rachel? I'd say if you pull Landius, you're pretty much all set because he is the fusion power buffer for the Yellis Legends. So if you do have some of the other Yellis Legends, I'll go back over to the game here. If you do have some of the other Yellis Legends, if you have any of these guys, then it is 100% worth pulling Landius, just because then you can run these guys together. Because at the current moment, my Shelfino and my Angelina kind of have been benched. Even my Lanford has been benched a little bit, just because I've been running the Dark Reincarnation team a lot, and the Empire Honors team a lot. So unfortunately, I have been using them as much. But Landius will definitely bring these guys out. Again, they're going to be missing a healer because I thought Rachel was going to be a healer, but it looks like you can run Liana, TR, Sophia, or any one of those people. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, stay positive. Peace out.